In a follow-up to yesterday's video about the suicidal empathy of white women being the problem of everything, why do they ruin everything? We've got another video here from Kirsha. Just a quick little 4 or 5 minute blurb, and then we'll see what I think about it.
I was greeted with this when I woke up. Jill Simonillo said, "Dear at real Donald Trump, I've been carjacked in Chicago with my arm broken. I still don't want you."
Now, I will say, this to me does not scream broken arm. You know, very possible that there is like a hairline fracture, and technically that's a broken arm. That does not look to me like a giant, enormous fracture. The fact that they just wrapped it, they just bandaged it, means that there's probably not significant, like actual, full on fracture. There's kind of like a hairline fracture, but I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong. I'm not a doctor.
You or your troops here. TIA? I don't know what that means. By the way, there are no red
This is America? Maybe?
hats here. But Juicy Smollett said that he was attacked and they told him it was MAGA country and has been going.
I mean, it's a conspiracy theory to think that that was not true. Anyway, the thing that I will say about this, and I am not the person that came up with this, but the idea here is that Donald Trump is worse than the person that carjacked you and broke your arm. Okay? He's worse. He is the literal devil. This guy, the guy that, broke your arm and carjacked you and, could have killed you or done worse things to you. He is a victim of society, a victim of circumstances outside of his control, and therefore, not actually a bad person. Donald Trump, on the other hand, is evil, straight up. And therefore, of course, this person would prefer that their city be unsafe, people be carjacked, and people's arms broken, people assaulted in the streets, than have an actual evil person and his evil minions in your city. Which would you rather have? Would you rather have inherently good people that are just circumstantially criminals because of things that are outside of their control that they are victims of, or people that have voluntarily chosen to follow literally Hitler, Donald Trump, literally Orange Hitler, and do his evil bidding? Obviously, you're gonna like criminal. They're criminals are not even bad people. Okay, Donald Trump and their support, they're the actual bad people. So of course, if you're gonna pick between the two, you pick the lesser of two evils. And in fact, it's not even the lesser of two evils. One is actually evil, and one is inherently good, but just in a bad spot right now.
Gold down here. Asmongold progressively gets more base now that he is not constrained by sponsors. So the big.
And I also say that, Asmongold getting more base is also because of the fact that the world is a little bit more based now. You can have these opinions and not be, completely cast out of society after. Yeah, I mean, it's not a coincidence that this happens directly after Trump gets elected. He's actually saying these things, which I don't think he changed his mind necessarily. He just, he read the room.
Biggest threat to America isn't Hamas, Venezuelan gangs, or violent migrants. It's upper middle class, primarily white women, who would import all of the above to destroy the country in order to satisfy their suicidal empathy. And even though Asmongold is unshackled, right, punished Asmongold over here, he still says white women. And it's interesting some of the other things people have brought up here. We had
and again, in my previous video, I don't think it's white women specifically. I just don't think that's the case. It just so happens that, white women, in terms of just pure numbers, make up a larger proportion of people who are on like the progressive left than any other demographic group. So primarily it's accurate in terms of numbers, but in terms of like statistics, if we're talking about like a per capita basis, it's probably not. It's just in terms of like giant raw numbers, because there's more, white people out there. There's more white women in America, and, white women make up an enormously large percentage of people who are on, the progressive left and who are virtue signaling through social media, you're seeing them as overrepresented in these samples. And therefore, that's why we're saying, white women are the problem.
Fuck around, find out in a single picture. Jill tweeted out in 2024, every year I research the issues and check every single judge on the ballot. It's important to have a voice in our democracy, because when people stop talking and think their vote and voice don't matter, our rights and our voices are silenced. You have a voice, use it. And then here, she quote retweeted her own post and said, to be clear, the police in Chicago aren't the problem, the judicial system is. CPD caught my carjacker, the courts let him go. So send us resources, not federalized police. Literally.
How would more money help? I'm assuming that's what you mean by resources. Okay. If the judicial system gets more money, but the people that are in charge let them go, then they just have more money to spend on what, like coffee breaks? Yeah, like there has to be some systemic change that makes it so that, the judges, if they were provided with more resources, would use them in such a way as to, lock people up or keep your streets safer. Resources is not going to help. You literally, if you were going to send any help, it would have to be something in the realm of like people federalizing these issues and therefore taking it out of the courts that are, Chicago courts and putting them into federal courts. That's kind of the only way that you could actually change this without, people in the city, Chicago, voting new people in. That's kind of the only way to do it. Or I suppose maybe if Trump like appointed an entire huge giant slew of new judges in Chicago, I don't know if he can actually even do that. I feel like he can't, but maybe, I don't know. And then, that giant new slew of judges could, kind of water down the pool of like super progressive people. And therefore you go, all right, we doubled the number of judges in Chicago. And therefore, 50% of them are adhering to the old policy of like, you just carjack, whatever, let him go, it's fine, it's no big deal. And then the other half are going to go, okay, well, you got, you flipped the coin, you came up tails, so you've got a judge that's actually going to lock you up for committing crimes. But I don't even think you can do that.
A case of she voted for this.
Literally.
She's now upset that what she voted for is negatively affecting her. Actual insanity. And then
I don't know if that's insanity. Hypocrisy, maybe. Sure.
Real kicker here. Jill said in 2013, hey, at United Airlines, trying to get to EWR before sundown because of Yom Kippur, and you just delayed my flight 2 hours. United said, we'll get you on your way as quick as we can, thank you. And Jill said, at United, hoping there will be free food during the flight for anyone who was Jewish and thought they'd be arriving in time to eat. It's upper middle class, primarily white women. By the way, I will not stand for this white woman slander.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Jewish women still count as white most of the time. Most of the time people don't differentiate.
And then a few more updates here. Jill has been tweeting about her carjacking for over 7 years.
Yikes.
We have a 2023. I was carjacked 4 years ago, and it still hasn't been prosecuted. This does not bode well for my city, and yes, I voted. I stopped carrying a purse after.
So when was this? 4 years ago. This is in 2023. So this would have been 2019, roughly. Probably 2019. So, within the Trump era, I suppose.
I got carjacked. Do you lock your car doors as soon as you get in on your vehicle? You should. This is just one of the tips I offer to prevent being carjacked. That's from 2019. Lessons learned the hard way on preventing a carjack. Is
she selling a book? Like, what is this? I'm assuming this link here is to her legit, like, hey, here's, an ebook so you don't get carjacked. It's 99 cents, it's $5 on Amazon. No big deal. You can get it on your Kindle. I'm assuming she's selling something here.
Jacking, also from 2019. Another one, 2019, celebrating my 1-year anniversary of being carjacked with this week's crazy tights and a sweaty 8 miles with @Kara Runs. 2020 to the PI who stopped by my place today to make me relive the fact that I got
Oy.
carjacked. I don't have to talk to you. To everyone else, let's prevent this from happening to anyone else in the future. What? 2019, did you know 63% of carjackings happen within 5 miles of home? Here are some tips to avoid being...
I mean, again, like that's just statistically obviously going to be the case. Because like, where are you getting into your car most often? You're always getting into your car at home. Sometimes you'll be getting into your car at the mall. Sometimes you're going to be getting in your car at, the movie theater, at work, at blah, 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 blah. Everyone gets into their car at home because you have to get into your car at home to get to any of these other places. So just statistically speaking, you get into your car at home an enormous amount. But again, I feel like 100% that here are some tips. I feel like this is an ebook. I feel like this person is selling something, which is why they're continuously talking about it. Which makes me think that it's entirely possible this person was straight up not even carjacked, like made it up. I mean, I have no evidence to support that fact, but the fact that you're going on and on and on and on and on and on about it, and then you're selling something. I mean, this link's the same. So you're clearly making money on it somehow. You've got a blog post that you want to get ad revenue on. You've got an ebook you're selling. You're going on and on and on about this kind of stuff. I'm assuming you're making some kind of money off of this.
A statistic like I was. In 2023, I was carjacked 4 years ago. Okay, I guess that's the same one from earlier. Just repeated quoting the Chicago Tribune. And then the final post in this saga, Jill deleted her account. She deleted her account. She could not handle the amount of people telling her, "You voted for this, you dumb bitch. You literally voted for the policies that have put you in this position. You absolute brain damaged mongoloid. Holy fuck. Stop talking about me, the carjacking. I want you to prosecute. Go find my carjacker." Can't believe they would give advice like that as if the victims are to blame for being carjacked. Doesn't she know that we should instead be telling people that carjacking is wrong? Exactly, man.
Well, again, are they? I mean, I don't know if these people believe this. I really don't know if people who are on the, who have been educated in the American sort of like, liberals, institutions, and these things actually believe that criminals are bad people. I don't know if they believe that. And I kind of almost feel like, no, they don't. They feel like they're kind of like they're victims of a societal problem. And therefore, they would be good people absent that societal problem. And maybe that's true for some people. For some of those people, sure. For a lot of those people, though, unfortunately, yeah, they're going to be criminals no matter what, unless there is some significant pressure from society in the sense that there's police on every corner. It's very, there's cameras. There's, we have like a very showy display of this place is secure. Okay. If you commit a crime, you will be punished and caught immediately. You'll be caught immediately and you'll be punished immediately. And therefore, the idea of committing a crime is just stupid. It's just like, no, of course I'm not going to do it. I want to steal this person's purse just, for no reason other than, I just want it. It's easy. I want to do it. But I've got enough brain cells in between my ears to go, it's not worth it because I'll just get immediately caught, And I feel like, I don't live in another country, so I don't know if this is the case, but certainly hearing from other people that do, they go, yeah, this is insane. If someone was carjacked, and their arm was broken in the middle of the day in a major city, it would be like a big deal. It would be big news that random people are getting carjacked. And, the person would be immediately caught and they'd be made an example out of. They would be like, yeah, no, you're not getting out. You're not getting out ever. You're going to jail forever. Okay? Because you have damaged not only this person individually, but you've damaged the idea of our society in total. Okay? You've made every person feel less safe getting into their car. Okay? They think they're going to be assaulted. People are now not going out to the stores as much as they would. They're not going out. They're not having fun. They're not living their lives as much as they otherwise would because of you. So therefore, not only are you getting like, the 5 years that are, sentenced for, you assaulting a person and stealing their car, you're getting like an extra 20, 30 years because we need to make an example out of you. And you've hurt untold numbers of other people, indirectly. And you need to be punished for that. But that's not where we're at. This person, apparently got caught and then was not prosecuted because they were like, whatever happened a while ago, who cares, right? They're probably an okay person. They just need, I don't know, a little bit extra help. We'll just give them a social worker and that'll solve the problem. And for some people, maybe that's true. For some, I'm willing to entertain the possibility that for a couple people, that's true. They just need some help. They need some resources. They need some whatever, and they'll be okay. And they'll never do this again. But there's also some people out there that are just psychos. They're just absolute violent, psychopathic people that unfortunately need to be policed. And the only way you can do that, because you don't necessarily know who they are, unless they've already committed crimes, is to make it very clear that if you commit a crime, you will be caught and you'll be punished. And we're sending the exact opposite message in most major American cities right now.